I think it's working. No, it ain't. Fucking hell, dude. Oh, she is? Okay, okay. Alright, seems like that's working. Gonna be a bit slow today, but you know. Oh damn, that sounds terrible. Why does it sound so bad? I don't know. Hey, what you gonna do about it? No, it's gonna be your nest anyway. Right, okay, so we're gonna get started quite quickly. I want to find out where I was. Where was I? What's going on? Right, this is the Lummy code base. We got the contribution piece, documentation. We are looking for contributors. Right, so we are going to be contributing to the Lemmy code base, I can assume. Lemmy UI, if I thought about that, I'd probably done that earlier. This might also be a possibility, though. Oh, it's still maintained. It's still maintained. I wouldn't think it would be. This seems like something that might just be finishable. Oh, well, I guess as they add more stuff into the ActivityPub protocol, they'd have to add it in there. Right, so first off, I'm going to get this set up, the local development environment set up. Okay. My hair looks terrible today. That's okay. I'm just going to move this down here. Oh, I am smaller now. Right. Install build requirements. Install the latest version of Rust. We've already done this, to be entirely clear. Sorry, I still have my Alright. So we should all have Rust set up, because, well, we've been doing that for the past quite a bit, but if you want to learn how to install Rust, it's fairly easy on this site, rustlang.org. Just Google install Rust. You should be able to find it. Secondarily, we have on join-lemmy.org/doc/contributors, which you can find on the main, well, I'm not going to go back to that, but on the main GitHub, just Google Lemmy GitHub. You should find it very quickly. We are going to check. I'm fairly certain that I checked last time if I had all this, and I did. Yep. We are just going to try and install all the different packages which we need. Looks like I have everything, but you should be able to copy paste. If you can't, if you're not using apt or pacman, perhaps you're on Fedora, it should just be DNF. I can't see any of these packages having a different name on them. I guess Debian-based distros already come with Postgres. Or perhaps I actually don't know. I guess it has to, right? Because well, maybe this libpq-dev. That's likely where this comes from. Homebrew already has this all installed, or perhaps that's all built into the node dependency? That is strange. Install Homebrew, then install node and pnpm. Right. Okay. We separately need pnpm. It can be installed as easily as this. Great thing to have if you haven't. If you use npm, it should just work perfectly fine as a drop-in replacement, and it is, in my opinion, a better tool. Setting up Postgres database. I already have this. Yes, you're gonna have a bit more of an issue if you're on Arch. I remember doing this. On Mac OS, it looks like... Oh, I'll admit I didn't know that Brew had like a services deal. No, I'll... I don't know why that's never come up, to be honest. Right? Uh-huh, here we go. Shit. I was messing around with a new thing called Code Crafters. Saw it in an advertisement, thought I'd look into it. Sorry for that. I'm just gonna cut out my recording in case I leak anything specific. Goodbye. You get a black box right now. Right. We are in the correct space. That's working. Okay. First, I'm going to move everything into a new thing. The book. Let's call it the book. First, let's make that directory. Oops. All right. That usually works. What's in here? Nothing. What? Ah, yeah, I'm an idiot. Yep. There. Right, so we got everything in there. We are going to git clone down recursively the entirety of Lemmy and lemmy-git. Good stuff. This will take some time, or not, who knows? I don't know how big this code base is. Looks like it's fairly small. This is only for... Is this only for Mac OS? Yeah. It's only telling us to do this for Mac OS, so I'm just going to follow along. But it seems like this should have something that should be for everyone. Who knows? Hey. Right. Inside of here, this is the back end, I can assume. Inside here, it's asking us to do cargo check. Define compilation errors. However, use cargo run to run it. It'll bind to 8536. All right, looks like I'm making a new file called notes. Let's make it an MD file. Oops. Why is that on? Sure, whatever. Right. On the backend binds to 000. That's not what I want to do. 8536. Okay. And we're getting an idea for how long it's going to take us to compile the entirety of the database, the project, because that's not compiling. That's just checking it. That's mostly running it through the compiler, but I doubt it does like the linking. It probably stops in a lot of yeah, it's compiling some stuff, but like no, that's going to take forever to run. Oh, I can't remember if Rust. Oh, oh shoot. Well, there's a major issue. We can't even compile the thing. All right. Use of unstable library feature, lazy cell. Note see issue, rustling issues for more info. Unstable library. Right, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. Seems like this library is in some way not stable. It's not a good thing. Things are not going well with this. We are already up to date. I can't remember what the fuck I'm doing, honestly. Yeah, I can't run that. Just a moment, I'm going to see if we are on the correct thing. Can I even run this? Yeah, looks like I'm fine to run this command. Right now, I can't do anything with the base, but you know. Right, do we have... When's the, right, let's... Add a community, sorting. Is anything here utilizing the lazy piece that we are, looks like it's not. No. At least not there. Alright, I got another tool, but I know it shows my name on the front. What are we but our tools? Well, this is a good way to start. Semi-expected, however, to be clear. Right. You know what? Let's look at just get blame, right? Never remember the syntax for get blame. How do we do this? What even was it? All right, let's just look at the first one to go in. What am I doing? That's sure, whatever. That just cleared it out, didn't it? That's great. That's fantastic. I really did a good one there, didn't I? Right, so the issue seems to be with something called lazy. We can continue from this point forward here. Where is the cargo.toml? Huh. I guess we will have to wait. Oh no, here it is. Lazy law. Where's lazy law from? Unstable library, rate lazy cell. Right, okay, so we do have this, that's fine. We are looking for a get blame here to see what net has caused this. Right. I got the documentation for get blame over here though. That's not what I want. Thank you. All right, so we got line 6 cluster. Well, that's just line 6. Let's look at the get blame for line 6. Sync lazy lock. What's that from? Sleepless one from October 7th. All right, so this is a very long change again. So the issue is not a recent change. Unlikely to be a recent change. It looks like we're going to have to look at the documentation for this issue. I didn't want to do that because I'm lazy. Ironically. That's not what I want. And we just do this. Oh, we are. In my other browser. That makes a lot of sense. I'd like to apologize for how slow I'm being. I am tired. Alright. This is in the rustling issue tracking for lazy cell, and this is the issue and the reason we cannot compile. This supersedes 74465 after a portion of one cell was stabilized with. This is a closed issue. This is mentioned here. How was it mentioned? Oh. The issue could be that I have a non-recent version of Rust. Make sense? All right, that's fine. Really, what I should have done is gone directly to the Lemmy codebase and seen if there's any open issues specifically, ones made very recently about this specifically. Looking directly at open issues, specifying this. How many people are actually doing this? It looks like Dull Bananas, Lewis, Blasters. Looks like a good amount of people individually are creating issues. How close are we to being done on this? We are done. Most analyzer is already installed. Rest format, cargo format. No, that's fine. All right. Let's see this again. Was this the issue? I am curious. What exactly is brought in here? Let's look at this. Cargo.toml. What do we have for dependencies? Oh, that's some clippy formatting. Workspace dependencies. We got the Lemmy API, API CRUB, just a bunch of different individual pieces from quote unquote Lemmy. And we of course have Lemmy Activity Pub Federation. We have Diesel, not familiar. Oops. Diesel migration, sync, Saturday with ActiveX Web. Yeah, it's not gonna work. What am I looking for? What is Diesel? Oh, it's an ORM. Okay. And a query builder. Okay, so that's actually good things to know. We're probably going to be working with Diesel wherever it comes to database, working with the database. That's something we'll probably need to know. We also have migrations. Oh, okay. And async. So it seems like they do actually care about a clean database. Being good on the database too. Saturday. What is Saturday Ross? I should probably have explained exactly what I'm doing today. That's a shame I hadn't. Saturday is a framework for serializing and deserializing Rust data structures efficiently and generically. The Saturday ecosystem consists of data structures that know how to serialize and deserialize themselves, along with data formats that know how to serialize and deserialize other things. Okay. Probably not going to be dealing with that an insane amount. We have Saturday with Actix-Web. Looks like we're getting along fairly. Tracing. All right, we got a lot, so we're not going to go over every single one. I'm mostly just looking to pad time until this actually compiles. See that there isn't any other issue coming along. Yep, we're still going along. Got more diesel stuff. Tokyo. I love Tokyo. Beautiful place. Regex. I'm curious where we're using regex in this. All right, we're using it quite a lot. Quite a lot, it seems, indeed. Ah, there we go. Only 4 specific regex set. Just to confirm, match multiple possibly overlapping regexes in a single search. What else is available to us here? We got regex set. Is this only this is for strings. Okay. Regex set. Oops. That's definitely not what I want. What the? Sure, whatever. Right, so we're using a lot of regex. Wonder what for. I'll be clear, I'm not entirely certain what we're going to be doing during this during this time. Currently, I'm just waiting for it to fully compile, see if that works fine. Save us some compiles if we mess around with the code a bit. Seems like there are quite a few uses for regex, but in some very specific places. Is there actually regex? What is slur regex? Local slight site to slur regex. Takes in this, which is, I don't know what that is. Local slur takes in a local site. A local site, we don't know what that is. Outputting, of course, an option regex, an optional regex. What is local site? Local site is site view local site. I'm gonna guess that local site is like a sh.hs.works or a lemmy.world. Where is this defined? We have a local site? Right, no, I actually want to look at the implementations here. Where is that used? Looks like on such a large code base, we're not going to be able to use that specific feature. Right. We are looking at site view. What exactly will there? We are looking at all implementations of this. I'm just looking at where this is set, particularly. Let's make this maximize so we can actually see the code. We don't need anything else for right now. Where is this set? I could search for it being equal something, but it doesn't look like, this doesn't seem like the kind of code base to make it that simple. Local site equal state view local site. Yep. Site, local site. This is a reference. Build federated instance. I'm just going to assume that's where it's going to actually be set. This is borrowed. Does that, if I knew enough about this, honestly, that would likely mean. Oh gosh. Local site's a massive struct. Local struct site is a type, holding a bunch of other stuff, including ID, site setup, etc. Okay. We're taking that in, a reference to that in. Right, okay, so perhaps this, I don't know why I didn't think this before. Why would it be set like I thought it was set? It should be set with site view. My lord. It's not going to be set with site underscore view dot local site equals. It's going to be set up wherever local site is created. Equals site view relocal mutable reference way pool dot into. We'll make sure local site is set up. Okay, perhaps here, perhaps here. What does this do? Okay. We have a public async function. We have a pool, which is a viewable reference to a database pool. Do we have a little bit of documentation on what this is? No, we do not. We have no information on, yes, we do. We actually do. References a pool or connection. Functions must take a yep to allow implicit reborn. This is a feature of Rustlang. That's not a. This are FCs. No, okay, sure, whatever. Where's the set? This is set in the schema utils reference. Okay, so this is not actually just a specific thing. That's not something with Rust itself. DB pool is something implemented here, and not really relevant to our use case right now. So we got site table, and we're still compiling, by the way. It's been quite some time. This is going to be a fun one to write for. Right. We are reading local, so it'll get this directly from a database, of course. But where does this set? Is there some settings that this is built off of? Okay, actually, that's a good way. It's a good reason to go back to the documentation. I'm just gonna exit out a bunch of the stuff. We probably don't need it all. Here's Federation Rust. Don't need that. Don't need that. I must have deleted that. I must have taken out that. We are looking for the documentation again, which I should likely pin. Where do we have it? Documentation. We are pinning here. Right, so how does one set up install with Docker, Ansible, Scratch, install first steps, configuration? This is what we are looking for. The configuration is based on the file config hjson, which is located by default at config/config.hjson. That is a thing, it seems. Is config an actual... Yeah, it is. I've never heard of hjson. It's pulled from here. The current question is, how does it set up the information for what the website will be? We have hostname lemmy-alpha, which is use connection string like Postgres, lemmy, password, lemmy, db, 5, 4, yep. If the Docker container is not used, yep. Full config with default values. Password to connect to Postgres. The secret is in plain text. Sure. Port where Postgres can be accessed. Alright, so we're not going to be able to run this right now. We're going to have to set this all up for... We're going to have to go through the entire setup to even be able to to see our code running. Here we go. Right, it worked, but Dokia runtime found, starting existing. Yep, that's fine, that's fine. Error, lemmy. Connecting to database. Error connecting to database. Yeah, of course it aired out. We don't have a database running at all, do we? I did not need to sudo that. It is disabled. Of course it is. I'm not using Postgres in anything recently. Why did I have to sudo status for that? Why was that the last thing I got the status out of? Right. Let's start you up. Let's try that again. We haven't changed anything, so it shouldn't have to compile anything. Waiting for file lock on build directory. What do you... blocking, waiting for file lock on build directory. Why is that an issue? Let's try that again. Right, it's saying that the Rust Analyzer VS Code plugin was indexing. Cargo, yep. Had the same issue. Hmm. Deleting the package cache. Okay, sure. This happens when you have two compilations of the same project at the same time. The compiler uses a lock file to avoid having data erase issues. Here's some possibilities. If you ran into two compilations yourself, problem's obvious, you need to cancel one of them. You can use an IDE that automatically compiles your project. If you use that, you can wait for the job to be finished or close the IDE. Yep, that's fine. If it does not work, this is probably because of an RLS hangup. You can kill RLS to solve the issue. Do we have... Is that even running? Let me check on a different monitor. RLS? No. What is going on? Alright, so it seems like we got... What is this from? Cargo check? What's running cargo check? There doesn't seem to be anything actually running cargo check. Is it on this one? Nope. Right, I'm just gonna kill that process. I'm just gonna try killing everything with cargo in it. It's telling us to kill RLS. I'll try that. No process found. -9, cargo. Hey, it did find something on cargo. And it's gone now. Let's try this again. Right, it's done. Start 12 workers. Error connecting to database. Error connecting to database caused by connecting server at localhost 1. 5432. Fatal role lemmy does not exist. Okay. Yep, new error. Great stuff. Where were we on that? We need to build the database. I'm gonna guess this is about what we're gonna have to do, but we should likely... Ah! Okay, so this is just poorly made. Okay, yeah. So this is just database information for those three things. And here is the stuff we're doing at this point in time. We're using PSQL-C to create, I assume. I am going to double check. Command. Oh, okay. Wow, fancy. The command takes in a string, it seems. Create user lemmy with password, username, super user. Right, so with the password, we are creating lemmy, the user, who is a super user. -u is with the user. Postgres? I'm guessing that PSQL is running on that. I'll admit I'm I haven't used Postgres in quite a while. Right, so we're also creating the database Lemmy with owner Lemmy, the user we had previously created, onto the user Postgres. We're exporting. This ain't gonna work. I'm on fish. Also, this isn't going to be permanent no matter where you are, I'm fairly certain. Lemmy database URL. Yep, we'll just do this. Create role, create database, but that's still not going to work because we are in fish, not Lemmy underscore database. Yep. I stand corrected. It's perfectly fine. It worked. But that's not going to stand over. No, it's fine. Alright, chill. That worked. Sure. Get code. That'll be I need databases. Yep, that's fine. That should work now, right? Hey, there we go. Now it's running the database migration. So this is going to take quite some time. Federating to 0 of 0 instances. 0 dead, 0 disallowed. Is that just telling you progress? Or are there 1, 2, 3, 4, now I guess 5? Yep, 5 different sets for it to federate from? Done. Huh, okay. Any more information we got? We got starting service. Yep, workers listening on. This might take some time. Database migrations are complete. Oh, that didn't take time. That took no time, actually. This is not for database. I guess I should have read that. That does not look like this. Federation enabled. Here is Lemmy Alpha. Alright, so this is just every, like, 1, 2... How often? Let's count up next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so every 10 seconds, it's going to check all of our federated instances. Or not? That was much quicker than 10 seconds, I think. Ah, right, okay. We are currently running the back end, but there's not really anything we can do with that since we don't have the front end. I am, however, very curious, again, how this configuration turns into errors. We have errors here. Ooh, I love errors. Proc macro create build database. Missing from dilib path. Macro error. Apparently it's not actually an error because we compiled perfectly fine. Got a lot of random errors. Ooh. Even in just our regular source.rs, we have an error. We have multiple errors, it seems. We have 5. Oh, that's the only error, it seems. Okay. I don't even know what that means. Do we have a code action on that? Expected expression, item, or let statement. Is the error in the macro itself? No, it doesn't look like there's an error here. I don't even know what that means. Hey, I've stopped caring, to be honest. Right. Where were we? We are trying to figure out. A, I have no idea what an HJSON is, to be clear. B, I am curious how config.hjson JSON is turned. What is this? This is a shell script? Config location. Okay. Where is this run from? This is test.sh. Oh, that's test.sh. Okay, never mind. That's fine. That's expected. Hello? Sure. Alright. DB performance, test with coverage, settings, mod.rs. I don't know what that is. That's a get signs issue. Not relevant. Default config file. Your references? It's only referenced one place. In the same file. Okay. We're using unwrapper else here. Let's get config location. Okay. Yeah, sure. So we have a static default config file inside of select rs, which is used in the get config location in the event lemmy config location, the environment variable is not set. Okay. Where is get config location used? One place. We have this function created to be used in one place. Fine. Read configuration file. We have read to string. Self get config location. All right. I don't really like that, honestly. Why have the function for a one-liner if there's nothing different? I prefer the refactoring if we actually need to use it type deal. Why muddy all of these? Right. Now we have exactly read configuration file. Oh. Here we are, my lord. Okay, now we have one specific use case of read config file. What are we 5 down a chain right now? Reads config file from reads config from configuration file. Note, the mvar lemmy database URL is parsed in lemmydb schema source lib.rs : get database URL from env. That's cool. I quite like that. We have a little bit of documentation telling us exactly where the database URL is parsed from. Warning, only call this once. Okay, so settings in it. Right, so I guess within the utilities, we have source and we have a bunch of different stuff, including another utils thing, holding markdown, mention, mod, slurs, validation. I wonder why we have two utils directories. Maybe that's utils for the utils? Sure. We should stop this. We don't need that running. Right. However, within this, we have settings, which is a utils piece. Inside of this seems to be very small. We init. Where is this used? The one time is run. We're like 6 down a chain where we have 6 different paths. Sorry, one singular path. All right. Oh, that's cool. Just environment variable right here. So inside of, again, settings.rs, we have a public static called settings. So settings will be available to us everywhere. Of type lazy lock settings. I'll admit, I don't know what a lazy lock is. Neither does Rust, it looks like. Lazy lock is in the Rust. Yeah, that is from Rust. A value which is initialized on the first axis. This type is a thread-safe lazy cell and can be used in statics. Okay. Is a new lazy lock which takes a closure. Cool. That's quite cool, actually. Oh, wait, is there documentation on that? Am I just an idiot? Yeah, I'm an idiot. There's documentation on the bottom. It did catch that. I just didn't see it because I'm not used to it being this small. Right, so here we are. We are just using init here. In the case that this let me initialize with default settings exists. If that exists, it'll tell us that it was set, and thus the configuration that'll be ignored. Use with other configuration or mvars to configure this instance further. Okay. And then we have settings.default. I'm curious. Why are we not able to get there? Is the LSP running? Yeah, that's fine. My curiosity doesn't matter that much. Then we run the init. All of that creates a string. This is what happens with massive code bases. They tend to grow more massive due to how massive they are. Seriously, in a smaller code base, we would have... We don't need that. We probably don't need select.rs. Config. Where is it? Where is it? Why is that gone now? Sure. Right. I'm curious how far down this goes. I stopped caring, but I'm still going to finish my thought. If I can just find it. Ah, yes. We would simply have this line. No, we wouldn't. This line. Ah, there we are. Wow, this is useful, isn't it? I hate having such tiny little thing. So I doubt we're going to get any chatters, so I'm just going to keep it at a big size. And blame that for my current issues. Alright. So to confirm, we would have... Where even were we? Honestly, where were we? Where the hell were we? I have lost my train of thought like a wild. I know how to get back though. And it is used once here. It was in the same file, you moron. Yeah, instead of having all this, we would just have... Well, we would just have this if statement, and then we would just run the only thing that happens inside of init. No, there's more stuff that happens with init. I should have read further, sure. Let config equals from string settings. Read file. Okay. No, I'm a bit wrong. What is all this? Sure. I think Rust Analyze is having a bit of a time, you know? Right. I'm a bit wrong. If config hostname unset, error out, the hostname is not set, else. Okay on the configuration. Yeah, most of this seems fine. It's just a little bit of weirdness with the yeah. I think it's understandable if you're following along. Sad thing is, I'm not following along, and thus it was not understandable to me. Okay. What are we looking at? We have settings being created now and set into here. How does settings turn into a fact? How does that set itself? Alright, let's go to the references of settings. This is probably going to be a much bigger list. Yes, we have a bigger list. We have 26 different instances. What? That's not what I wanted. And it broke. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we get this back? There we go. Alright. We are in context twice. Utils, mod, markdown, in the basic lib.rs. I'm guessing this is where it actually matters, isn't it? Why is that there? That's unkind. Okay. I'm gonna have to fix that thing happening myself, ain't I? That's it, that ain't it. Alright, so we got in lib.rs. It is being utilized exactly here. Okay, sure. Use lemmy util settings, struct string settings. That's not a that's kind of a reference, I guess. That is a reference. I'm an idiot. That is simply a reference. Yep. Run advanced migrations. Run the code migrations. Bringing in settings. Where's settings used here? Yeah, we're just passing in all the information. Specifically here, we gotta run advanced migrations. Yeah, we are creating protocol and hostname, which is settings, get protocol and hostname, the user updates. Pull that away. What is this? 2020-0402? Code migrations.rs. This is for DB migrations that require code. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is just a fairly complicated migrations file. Okay, so yeah, this is how Diesel is working. As I said, we're going to be running into Diesel a lot when we talk about database. Right, where were we? To clarify, these are what is called migrations. Migrations are usually named after the date and time that it is created. This is just a full-on, like a snapshot of a database at a specific time and place. We usually go through date after date after date to create separate migrations as little points that we can go back to, and sometimes they build on top of each other. That's why a lot of the time we have stuff from literally 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, just around. Good stuff, though. What are we looking for? We are looking at how we are looking at how ah yeah, I'm not doing well right now. I am incredibly tired. And it's only 8:30. Come on. We are looking to see how settings get turned into uh actions, how that sets up the database. Is settings used anywhere else? What? Yeah. It is passed in here directly. And then is passed again into two different functions, of course. And then we just are getting the host name, which we had already gotten somewhere before. Did we need to pass in the entire settings for that? I don't think so. We could have just... What does this pass out? This passes out a string. This is just... Is this necessary? Why? Hey, you know what? I'm being a bit harsh. Sorry, this is what would run through my head if I were looking through it, but if I was talking directly to the person who wrote this, I wouldn't be too upset. I am curious why, though. Why pass through the entirety of settings here instead of just passing out the string? Is there some weird compiler magic going on, or... No, there's no reason for that. Also, this is just generate shared inbox URL. The entirety of this function, which is a public function of utils.rs, the entirety of this function's use is a one-liner of code that may error out. No, it's 2 lines of code. Yeah, sorry. URL comes from what? What do we have? A parsed URL record, but it comes out as a dummy result. We have a specific thing for Lemmy results. That's a public type, which is a result and outputting a Lemmy error. Okay, fair. So this is just a public type. Right, yep. We learned about these things. I can't speak on them. I'm incredibly tired. I am sorry. We have a Lemmy error? I'm curious what this is. Oh, it's right there. We have a public error type, Lemmy error type. Sure. Ooh, that's enumerable with all the different errors that Lemmy can produce. Good stuff. Less than I thought, honestly. And then we have an inner, which is an anyhow. Sure. This library, yep, sure. Right. This outputs a library result with a database URL in it. And a database URL is a specific thing for what reason. We have a public struct, DB which is a public crate. Right, public to the crate, Lemmy DB schema, which is a boxed URL so that it can be passed around and used functionally. Good stuff. Also, there's some functions on it. Okay. Inner is self to 0. We have display for DB URL. Okay, so there is a use case for it being a DB URL. But what is the use case for it to be generate shared inbox? I'd argue. That's a bit funky. Yeah, you can put all this here. I don't see why not. This is code migrations. Oh, is this used in multiple places? I'm an idiot. I will be clear, I'm a bit of a fool. Yeah, it's likely used everywhere, I'm guessing, on the entire project to generate the shared inbox URL, right? Don't stop right now. Not what I want. No, actually, yeah. In all of the migrations. Okay, that's why it's a function. Look, again, I am incredibly tired. I'm not thinking about this in the sense of a broad system. I've kind of forgotten that we are in migrations, to be honest. Right, I'm going to continue on till 9. That's not going to be too long for me. Shame. Right, so the question was, how does settings turn into actual effect? How does that turn into this stuff? It looks like it's... I don't know why I'm looking too deeply into this, because it's obvious right now. It's right in front of my face. It is simply run through the migrations. The settings are brought in and then set into fields via the migrations. I guess the reason was to actually look at some database migrations. There we go. Let's read through a full database migration, which I'm never going to run into if I'm actually doing code on Lemmy. That's not going to be a thing that is going to matter at all. So actually, on second thought, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I'm just going to... What am I going to do? I'm going to be looking at something else. I don't really know where to start, to be entirely honest. This is a massive project. Usually when I'm starting with one of these projects, I will go to the code base, look at the issues, find one that looks reasonable, and then read about it. Usually the first 2, 3, maybe even 4 will not be something that I'll actually be able to contribute to. But it'll teach me more about the code base. Right. Parsing 429 responses as valid, causing broken previews and summary. This is a bug. Right. What are the requirements for a bug? Is this a bug report? For questions discussion, use this. Did you check to see if the issue already exists? They did. Is this a single bug? Do not put multiple bugs in one issue. Do you agree to follow the code of conduct? Is this a backend issue? Pretty reasonable things to ask first. Every post I create with a link to cbssports.com, for example, communix.news. What is that? What is this? Provided by the Communic team as a professional privacy-focused service provider who open source and the indie web. We support back the Federate. Yep. Okay, sure. It's being generated with 492 too many, 49 too many requests preview. Steps to reproduce. Might be required to have an instance hosted in Europe. Technical details. Maybe it would be better to check. Submissions or Discord previews of the response is 400 code. I really don't understand what the issue is, to be entirely honest. Oh, we got 2 commits here, so we get to see where exactly this would be found in. Under the crates, API common, source requests.rs. We have .await, errors for status. I'm guessing that error for status is being created? No, not at all. No. That's the line of code. Is that fixing it? I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what error for status does. Is that just passing back the error as a status code? Alright, I don't think this is a great issue to start on. Task container gets stuck on updating remote instances nightly. Every midnight, the scheduled daily tasks kick off and get stuck at the same spot. Per new Atomic suggestion, I have patched the schedule to be more verbose, attaching the diff, the log at midnight, and yep. I can't even read right now. I think that's a pretty bad thing. And on that, I think I'm going to look into this later on my own. I can't keep things in my head. I need at least a break. Likely